Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to the second installment of Electronic Identity Crisis on Relate Radio. And today I'm joined by my very first guest, Alba! You made it to the studio, and I'm so happy.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming all the way to Groningen.
My
You
pleasure.
came from Amsterdam today, right?
Yes.
Nice, nice.
Took me a moment, but I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm really glad that you could make it to the studio and be here with me today.
I'm very happy
And
as well.
I thought it would be nice to do like a small introduction so people know, who they're listening to.
Okay.
So yeah, could you please introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes. Hello everybody. I'm Alma, also known as DJ YoungWoman. So I'm a DJ, producer, also radio host, and co-founder of the Los Angles Collective, which is having its second party on April 29th. A quick
very
plug
nice.
in. And yeah, that's about it. I am very much interested in everything trans because I am trans. So somehow the past couple of months, everything I do has to do something with transness, either through myself or through other people.
That's so interesting. I also saw that you recently started your own radio show on Echo Box called Extra Deal, right?
Extra dial.
Extra
Yes.
Dial, yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so the show is sort of it's like a personal sort of investigation for myself, because as a trans person, you always have the term being clocked. Clocked is when people think that you are somebody with pronouns that they don't think are the pronouns that you should have. And so started thinking, okay, if like being a trans person has a look, doesn't have a sound. And then through the show, I just had my first guest, and we just talk about the songs that we liked and how our relationship to songs changed through transition, and whether actually transness has a sound.
That's such an interesting idea. And do you find yourself already forming an answer, or is that like an ongoing question?
I think I have an answer, and I'm trying to debate with the people that I come in, whether they sort of agree with me or not.
Yeah.
I just have a simple idea of what transness can sound like, or sort of I think there is something inherently trans about sort of the disregard of forms and rules, and this can drag you in different directions. So I'm always like asking my guests, do you agree with me? If you don't, then we're not gonna broadcast the episode. If you are, then we're gonna do that. Yeah.
Bye-bye now.
Exactly. Yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Well, that's a super interesting investigation, I think, and also nice to sort of explore that with your guests. And
It's a lot of fun.
yeah, I think sort of piggybacking off of that, I want to ask you the first question that I prepared, and that is your relationship with your identity. And can you describe maybe how it has changed over time? And yeah, how do you look at it?
Yeah. So there are like these sort of like different like timelines where you can like how my identity developed. So from being sort of just a person in Egypt to a citizen, and then to sort of a poor student, and then to a less poor student, and then an expat in another country. So this sort of like process of alienation, but then finding a community, but then alienation again, because you're not part of any community that you sort of find yourself into just because of government and visas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also with that journey, the sort of the discovery, and then the sort of the fight and the resistance, and then finally the acceptance of my own transness. So I feel like that's these relationship of who I am for myself and who I am for other people also. I think they were it's it's an ever-changing process, I feel.
Yeah. Do you feel like nowadays you're more able to show your true self and that you're less performing what
I
other people
think
want to
so,
see?
yes. I think so. I think like I don't know. I've reached my final form in a way. Just like
She's
the
evolved.
exactly. Yeah. The broad lines are there. Just the details will change over time.
Yeah, of
But
course.
just I think the main outline is definitely there.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a true butterfly now.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And on to my second question. Are there any areas in life where you feel really proud to stand out? And are there also areas in life where you feel more proud to blend in or belong to a group?
I like to stand out in a club behind a deck. That's my favorite part. Like
Nice.
to be sort of that's recognition that you're just making people dance and them sort of realizing that and realizing that I don't know effort and love went in there and to stand out for that, that's my favorite part. And for the rest of the life, I I sorry, I prefer not to not to stand out at any for any reasons. Safety mainly, but also because I think like almost every DJ that I've met, I have a little bit of a social anxiety ongoing, and that's why we decide to go behind the decks and just not talk to people for
Yeah,
like
don't
two,
look
three.
at me,
Yeah,
just listen to the
exactly.
music.
Just listen to me beforehand. I'm sorry, I'm stressed. Afterwards, I'm too tired. I have
Yeah.
my excuses. Don't talk to me, and I have a great time. And then I go home.
Yeah. But it's nice to say that you like to stand out behind the booth and that you like to see people enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in that way, do you think you've really found your calling in music?
Funnily enough, yeah, DJing. I think growing up, I never like I don't know, is it just me or just people who come from Egypt in general? But I had this notion that you become a doctor or you become an engineer. But somehow for me, like a dancer is just a dancer. Like they just pop out of existence dancer. Same for musicians. And when I moved to Amsterdam and I started like making friends with people who are DJs, and then I was like, oh wow, yeah, okay. So you actually can learn how to do it. So it's actually something that you can actually learn.
What? They didn't come out of the womb with a
Exactly,
DDJ 400?
exactly. But somehow I was like, oh wow, so maybe I can DJ.
Yeah.
And yeah, and just moving to Amsterdam, seeing DJs like Noise Diva, Laser Gazer, sort of doing this sort of mixing of, I don't like the word, but like Middle Eastern sounds, for lack of a better term, with like sort of more westerny dub, techno, breakbeat. I'm like, oh wow, okay. Then it's, as an Egyptian, I can do it. And then I saw Danny Diora, who curated an entire trans femme lineup at Haraj Nord with New World Disorder, and then seeing like all of these girls play, and I was like, okay, so an Egyptian tranny can hop on behind the decks, and that's how I found it. Yeah, and then once I started, just nonstop.
That's so nice. So you
Yeah.
recognized yourself somewhere and then you thought like I can do this
Oh,
as well.
100%. I thought it was like a cheesy like American thing of like seeing yourself representation on TV.
Yeah.
But once you see somebody who has parts of who you are do something that you want to do, you definitely can do.
Representation matters,
Exactly.
people.
Yeah. It's not a joke. It's not an American joke. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the same for me. Like in my high school, we used to have this club where like one of the gym teachers, they taught some students to DJ, but all of the kids that joined the club were like super jockey cool guys, and they played like super trashy EDM music that I was really into. And then I thought like, oh, DJing, that's nothing for me. Like I just won't do it. And then during lockdown, my boyfriend got a controller. And then I thought like, hey, that actually looks kind of fun. And then one of my close friends from high school, she's like a super cool superstar DJ now. Her name is Kimma. And I saw her and I thought like, wow, I think this is like something for me as well. So yeah, I can really find myself in your story as well, that you see someone that's like, looks like yeah, is sort
beautiful.
of like you, and then you believe in yourself suddenly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
That's really nice.
That's why to all promoters, that's why your lineup should be diverse, because you inspire people. It's not just a money making machine.
Yeah.
It's a place for education.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You might also see nowadays a bit more that promoters are looking to fill lineups with like diverse DJs just because they want to have a sort of an image that they are a diverse place, but
Oh,
not really care
100%.
about the people that they put there.
100. I would like to hear your experience about this, because mine is like, oh, you just wanted a trans person on the lineup, and then you put me between two people who I have insanely like. Sometimes styles can be like sort of apparently apart, but they mix well together. But if
Yeah.
somebody's just Googling or going on Instagram, trans DJ, black DJ, gay DJ, and then putting a lineup together, that's what I find myself often in like these in these parties. What
Yeah.
is your experience with that?
I honestly can't say that I've had too much experience with this. I mean, that's a good thing, but also I haven't been playing a lot of clubs for a very long time
Yeah.
yet. So I started doing radio shows and stuff, and usually they're really open to everyone, and they give beginning DJs a chance. So I felt really welcome there, and I don't really have that much experience with like club lineups yet, and I hope to keep it that way. But I'm very aware of everything that's happening, and I
Yeah.
know it happens to my friends. So even though it doesn't happen to me, I'm not afraid to be like critical of it, and I
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
that's what everyone should do, and like
100%.
yeah, keep people accountable, I guess.
Yes. Yes. To show everybody that we notice what
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
We notice what you do. It's not like you're the smart
You're
or
not being
whatever.
slick.
No, no, totally not. Like entirely not. But yeah.
Yeah.
But God bless. Yeah.
Yeah. Before you said something about like Middle Eastern influences in music,
Yeah.
and also about your own radio show, of course, about the transness of sound, and how would you say your identity presents itself in the music that you play in the DJ sets that you do?
Um. How am I think definitely paying tribute to where I come from. So, and who I am often influences me. So if you're if you're one of those Swana cuties, or if you're a trans producer or DJ, your stuff will like skip the listening list that I have, sort of, and it will just go all the way. I will be interested in to see what you do, or what take do you have on sort of music that you do.
Yeah.
So I think they influence me because I'm very much attracted into learning about every almost like other trans producer, every Arabic producer, what they do, what do they have to bring to the table, and how can I learn from that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Also, I imagine that there are not as many, for example, producers of color compared to like all the white men out there.
They
So
have yes, you have to really dig in, but
yeah.
thankfully with the algorithms and stuff, thankfully, like yeah, once you have a couple of artists, then you can easily sort of go down that rabbit hole. But
Yeah, for
there's
sure.
there's not a lot, and
Always happy
yeah,
to find
yeah.
nice
it's
producers.
it's incredible. It's really incredible how also some of them are so big, but somehow just because we're bombarded by your regular plain T-shirt,
Yeah.
white dude, DJ, producer, that you just don't hear of anything else. So you really have to like yeah, restrict your Google search
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
to what you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, you told us a little bit about it already. So you said that if it's, for example, a trance producer, they sort of go to the top of your listening list.
Yeah.
Is there like, are there any other ways that you approach genres and building up your DJ sets? Like, how do you usually go about this?
It is crazy because, um, yeah, my love of genres, or like how I approach or what music sort of I like, has really changed a lot. I was a very sort of acousticy indie sort of Oasis lover girl, just like chill. didn't like electronic music and then somehow ended up liking electronic music. And I think now, I think I've maybe have found my sound, or like the sounds that I love to sort of play during a mix or like during a club set. So one of my favorite things to play now is what is called ghetto techno.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I
I
love that as
love
well.
that. I
Yeah.
love it. I like it. I like now I'm attracted to rough sounds
Mhm.
and sort of sounds that are like a little bit you go like, huh? It's like what yeah.
That's why I
So
think you're the
exactly.
perfect guest for this show.
So I'm always attracted, like I always have to have a couple of like sort of these ghetto techno tracks, break beats, any like deconstructed stuff. I love also a lot of percussion. So I always have like a segment of just, yeah, I call it like the Doom Tech playlist on my USB, and it's just like literally just drums, 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 drums.
Nice.
I have to like put in a couple of mashups, even though people maybe are getting tired of them, but I just like I am very proud of the mashups that I do. And often I like to have a couple of transitions that are just for the laughs, that I just
Mm.
like surprise people with them.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, these are like the sort of the hee ha ha moments. And I'm the happiest DJ when somebody comes and say, "Hey, that like song into that other song, ah, yeah, you made me laugh," and I'm like, "Yep,
That's
that's
nice.
that was the entire point." Because I laugh when a DJ makes a night like a an interesting transition.
Yeah.
My reaction is laughing,
Yeah.
and when I'm preparing, I laugh, and I always hope that somebody also will get the humor of some of these transitions. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the young woman recipe for
Nice.
for a set.
So sometimes we can see you like having a small moment to yourself,
Oh
like
yeah,
sort of giggling.
100%,
Like
100%, 100, and super disappointed if nobody comes and talk about it. Yeah,
that's nice. And what you said about mashups, I think every good meal needs a little cheese.
yeah,
I'm lactose intolerant, but but I still love cheese. So
yeah, exactly.
like a good
Mashups,
mashup here and there can be
bring
really
back
nice as well.
mashups. It's like
Yeah.
the funniest thing to do. Yeah.
Nice. So, as a last question already of this interview part, I wanted to ask you, how did you approach finding the tracks that you wanted to play for today?
So I think when I first like read a description of your show and listened to snippets of it, I had an idea of what I wanted to play. And the idea of just um, the last time I went to Egypt, I felt like sort of because I haven't been for maybe 8 years or something, and I went there for like a week. So it was sort of a surreal experience to somehow like step from this world where to another world where I was sort of kind of pretending to be somebody else, and time you can see has passed, but the people that I sort of grew up with did not really change. And somehow everything that I experienced here felt like a dream or like a parallel sort of universe. So that's the thought that I had when I was putting tracks together, is that it's sort of this idea of like jumping between one thing to another. Both are on planet Earth somehow, both are sharing the same timeline,
Yeah.
but somehow very different, but also it's the same, but just, yeah, this sense of like, the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Which one of you is real, actually? Like, which one of you is, because, yeah, somehow that feeling of these two cannot really mix together in
Yeah.
the same world, and hopefully what will translate, these things cannot mix in the same what you said. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
not. I like, but this is the feeling that I had.
Okay. Yeah, looking
Yeah.
forward to hearing it. I think with that said, let's just dive into the track so we can hear it for
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be playing the first track. I'll just
Yes.
put the music on and then we can talk about it later.
Yep.
So here we go.
생각하나 is only what you see, what you can believe. Internet said there's nothing we can do to save the future generation. 우리는 왜 미래가 너나 먼 곳이라 생각하나 is only what you hear, what you can believe. 들리지 않아도 마음으로 믿고 행동으로 보여줄 수 있다고. 우리는 왜 현실에 충실하고 꿈을 꾸지 않나. Isn't it what we dream that we should believe? I can see myself and you and yourself and me, and we're all a part of one. And we're all a part of one. And we're all a part of one day adds to 1 week, 1 month adds to 1 year, 1 sun adds to 1 life, 1 love. 우리는 왜 과거가 너나 먼 곳이라 생각하나 is only what you see, what you can believe. Internet said there's nothing we can do to save the future generation. 우리는 왜 미래가 너나 먼 곳이라 생각하나 is only what you hear, what you can believe. 들리지 않아도 마음으로 믿고 행동으로 보여줄 수 있다고.
So that was the first one. It's called Submerge FM by Korean vocalist, producer, and DJ Yeji. You might know her from really popular lo-fi house tracks such as Rain Girl and her cover of Drake's Passion Fruit. But she recently also released a debut album titled With a Hammer. And on this album, she does a really experimental take on pop music, like really interlacing electronics with her really dreamy vocals. And Alma just said to me while the microphones were off, like, it's kind of like hallucinating when she switches between Korean and English. And I fully agree. It's like a super, like, it's like she creates her own language by switching between the two. And I really like that. She did an interview with Pitchfork where she explained that the album was made using suppressed childhood memories, rolling waves of alienation, anger at increased violence against Asian Americans, and revelations during the Black Lives Matter uprisings during 2020. And that euphoric peak when you finally realize you're not really not as small as the world would have you believe. And yeah, I think that was really nicely said. I just copied that from the interview, so it's not my words, but I think that was really nice. And this track I really like because it has like a really long intro with flute, and then there's suddenly like a really heavy kick, and I think that also has a really nice contrast. The lyrics are also quite deep. She wonders about the concepts of past and future, and the way they influence her sense of community. And I also thought some lines were sort of like a criticism on selfishness of the older generations. Maybe it's a bit of a stretch, but she says in the song, "Is only what you see, what you believe. Internet said that there's nothing we can do to save the future generation. Why do we have a future? Do you think it's far away?" So to me, it kind of also reads like, why are you not helping us? When we are sort of the future and you don't only care about the now.
Exactly.
So
just old people.
Yeah. Old people, man.
Always being old. Yeah. And annoying.
So that was the first track, and do you want to go ahead and play the next one?
Let's go.
The city I met was pink. I tasted the city, I ate out in the city. But the sky called up to me and it said, "Here you can be a city." Oh, what do I want? What do I want?
want the city. I thought 1,000 thoughts for 1,000 times. I've left in sheets with it on my mind. You open the doors onto the veranda. But I ran outside in the musted air with my arms outstretched to feel her. I breathed in the city like a fool, but only because it was you, my homing guide. And you told me I could have what you could not provide. Well, I believed you so, that we would last forever. We thought. Well, I told you in the city light, and your face was warm and your eyes were bright. I wish I'd known I was alone in city
The Loose Monster.
And the Beaver. Ugly monster.
How's the Beaver?
head scraping like
Gets kitchen
ceiling.
For the Beaver on the plastic dishes, and all the land was ice.
Ice. Grey morning light, you poor baby.
Beaver, Beaver, he said.
I sat on the Beaver's face, and he sat on the Beaver's face.
And he told him what the problem was. In the light, the monster was
Frying
4 eggs.
frying pan and golden buckwheat and rye. Iron toast that hit the ceiling. Onto the blue tile. To Dutch china plates.
On the round red table,
Rose petal,
Jam.
orange lemon.
ginger marmalade, gloss jellies.
The Beaver's taking a shower and refused to use shower.
Water was flooding the bathroom. The only thing that he saw was the white morning sunlight, and the only thing he heard was the shower water falling like a beating heart. Monster to the bear. So it's all power. I can't sleep or think or dream of anything else. I hate you and I hate your money. The bear raged. The bear forgot himself and threw himself against the door even harder.
Oh my god. That track was crazy.
Yeah, so this is The City by a British duo called the Jockstrap. And I think it's one of 3 or 4 tracks that they have that it's called The City, or maybe I'm just like collecting, going on the wrong streaming services, whatever. And I love this band just because they're cool also, but I think my sort of taste changed. So I loved them in the beginning. They were doing like sort of a poppy, cutie, sort of like mild rock and roll electro. And then now they turn into this. And yeah, I love tracks that like just takes you somewhere completely where you're not expecting. And
Yeah, it
then
was
you-
so unexpected when it suddenly became like really electronic.
Right,
Yeah.
because it's like she has this sort of operatic sort of song, and it's like a sad sort of like, I don't know, you think it's gonna be like a Lana Del Rey sort of vibe, just like let's be sad, but then they take it completely opposite, and then I just love like the abstract sort of poetry wording that they do it, and yeah, Jockstrap.
Really,
If
really
you're
cool.
not, if you didn't know, please go listen to their music. They're really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think somehow the first track that I played and your first track,
Yeah.
they're kind of similar in
Yes.
structure. Like
Yes.
it starts off really cutesy and then it becomes more and more electronic.
Yeah.
And then yours
Yeah.
descended sort of into madness,
Then-
which is so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next track. It's really different, but here we go. So that was Drum Cloud by Nicky Nair. Yeah, I just had to have one of Nicky Nair's tracks on this show because I love him so much, and I think as a producer, he's like very willing to take risks and blend genres together. And for this particular track, I thought it felt so much sort of like a jazz improvisation, but like electronic at the same time. And it's very well. It's called Drum Cloud, so the feel is also
Now
very
I
like
get it,
floaty and like I really like it. It's like there's so many drums, but it still feels very airy, very light, and yeah, it's sort of just like a weird track. But
It's really nice.
yeah, I was trying to dance to it. Maybe you saw me flailing my arms around, and it's quite hard to dance to. But
For
yeah,
your next gig, somebody will come and like, hey, play Drum Cloud.
and then we will just all be flailing our arms like this. Yeah, I think I should do that sometime. Just see how the crowd reacts, and then yeah, maybe we can all float away. So what do you have next for us?
I have a track. It's called Melnesh Deya. Somehow the English translation is very weird, but like the one that comes with the track. But it's it's also I think I understand why they didn't put the actual translation because I cannot find the word for it. But it's basically that's like that feel like it says, if something happened to us, nobody will really like give a shit.
Okay.
And it's by Maurice Luca. I hope I pronounced that right. And I was sort of blown away by his music. I've heard the name because he's sort of like popular within the underground or whatever. But I never really listened to the music because I was still in sort of my indie phase. And now that I listen to it, it's like a really interesting take on music that people often sort of deem as sort of like non-sophisticated or like so we have this trend of something called the festivals music, and there's this big wars in Egypt because it's super popular, but at the same time it's very simple. Also this first time it's very like funny because it's just very like non-caring about music structure. It's just basically one dude on a synthesizer and another guy on autotune, and they're just like ruining an entire street. People are like losing their mind. And this is somehow the sort of maybe I think of it as like the Berlinized version.
Okay. That sounds very interesting.
Melnesh Deya by Maurice Luca.
really cool track. I like how you said it was sort of the Berlinized version because I felt there were almost like rave stabs hidden in it.
Yeah, it's the let's put this into a beat grid.
Yeah.
Somebody can listen to. Yeah.
Yeah, really nice. I think you said a lot of nice things about this track before we played it. So let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, what are you going to play?
So I'm going to play a part, it's not the whole track because it's quite long, of a track called XLB, which is short for Xiaolongbao, which is like a soup dumpling they eat a lot in Shanghai. But it's just, I think, it's by Pearson Sound, so I think the guys from London or something. So I'm not sure why you called it that, but it's a really fun track. In a way, it's a little bit similar to Drum Cloud by Nicky Nair that we just listened to in the way that it's like very loose in the melody. It's like, yeah, it's kind of weird actually. It's like, and it's it's named after a soup dumpling, and I think the track also feels kind of gloopy and soupy, so maybe in that way it fits. So let's just listen to it. So that was XLB by Pearson Sound or Xiaolongbao. I hope you know what I mean when it sounds soupy. I just really love that breakdown and that drop. It just, I don't know, it sounds like there's water trickling or something like that.
It's very soupy. It's very boiling steam coming over. And you're just having a good time.
And then like a very heavy kick setting in. I just love that.
That's the little meat in the soup.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course. Chicken.
Yeah. Very, very tasty track.
Yeah.
So what's next for us?
I think because I'm not gonna be playing during the set, but it's at this time it's sort of an homage to Three Phase, again Egyptian, and this time I think he's based in Cairo, but like comes around a lot in Europe, and yeah, it's same sort of vibes, taking music that is sort of like yeah traditional this time and just making it much more interesting and much more dancing and yeah botching it up in all sorts of way, and this is what I like very much.
Nice.
So here's Three Phase and the song is called Phase Number 5.
All right. I feel like we're sort of rushing through songs, but I think we just want to play a lot and there's not a lot of time. But wow, that was really nice.
Three Phase.
I think I'd really vibe to that in the club.
Yeah.
Like
if you're in
3
Berlin, I
a.m.
think with Taxir they're gonna be playing soon, so
Wow, really
go
cool.
check it out.
Yeah, we'll do for sure. Yeah, I was listening to it and it was sort of like ominous and dark. So I have a track that might accompany it pretty well.
Let's go dark. Let's go spooky.
think the studio is haunted now. That was a very spooky track called 24/7 by a producer named Lanes, I think. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
I think it's Lanes, but
Lanes?
spelled cool.
Okay. Yeah, it's on a really cool label. I really love Chinabot is the name of the label. And they showcase a lot of Asian talent, like from all over the continent. And I think that's really cool. Like, I love that. Yeah, and this track, I just thought it went well with the previous one. It's very spooky, very sort of mechanical as well. Yeah.
Love
So up next is our last track of this part, right? Or
okay.
do we do another one? Yeah, I think it's the
Okay,
last one
that's the
for the
last one.
talking part.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna end up on one of my really, really favorite trance DJs, producers, who's gonna be hopefully in Rotterdam soon, is Stock. And this track is called Submersion. And I think this album has one of the sexiest and most cool album artworks ever. So here you go.
Let's listen. And with that, we've ended the first part of the show. I think it's a nice full circle moment because my first track was called Submerge FM. And your last track is called Submersion.
I was like, is this S-Dog?
Very, very nice. So yeah, next up, YoungWoman is gonna play a really nice DJ set for us.
Hopefully,
I'm really
don't
excited.
say maybe it's not nice.
We'll see. No, I'm sure it's gonna be really nice. So yeah, let's have a listen. Let's wonder what we're listening to,
Exactly.
and yeah, have fun.
You don't even know me.
Please, you don't even know me. 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 Please, you don't even know me. Know me. Know me. Know me. Please, you don't even know me.
بنحيي البغبغان صحصح وعدنان بنحيي البغبغان صحصح وعدنان بنحيي البغبغان صحصح وعدنان بنحيي البغبغان صحصح
German-Kid. Au lieu de ce qui est Shao-Jan, c'est toujours Fischer Bambu. German-Kid, là. Valana mapaipi. Sasa ndazo.
this has Egyptian music all over. I love the Arabic fusion, bro. Wow, that's hard. The bass hits hard.
the music you were playing earlier? 苦正在玩抖音，请稍后再拨。
哎呦我的妈！
Sorry, you dialed the user to 玩抖音 Please redial later.
哎呦我的妈！
Sorry, you dialed the user to 玩抖音 Please redial later.
你相信这首纯音乐有人找了整整5年吗？不用歌词也能直击灵魂，你都有听过吗？这不对。
incredible.